We all know in theory how important a good night's sleep is. But do you know why? A poor night's sleep spent tossing and turning leaves you waking up cranky, unfocused, and really not able to deal with the next thing that gets thrown at you. On the other hand, a good night's sleep leaves you waking refreshed and ready to take on the world. My name is Karen, and it's my pleasure as always to host you. And today we're talking about sleep. Did you know that it's actually a medical necessity? I hadn't heard it referred to in quite that kind of language before, but recently I did. And when you understand what's really going on in your brain while you're sleeping, you'll know why medical necessity is actually the right term. As we sleep, toxins are being cleared out of our brains. Our immune systems are being strengthened, and our metabolisms are being regulated. There are these cool little immune cells, fondly referred to as nature's gardeners. They're called microglia, and while they work all the time, they work hardest while we sleep. They patrol our brains and our spinal cords, and they look after the reorganization of nerve cell connections, repairing damage, and getting rid of dead cells. Microglia also play an important function in supporting learning, memory, cognition, and motor function. It's no surprise then to learn that poor sleep has been associated with dementia. Now, it's fair to note that scientists have not yet connected poor sleep with the plaques and tangles that are associated with Alzheimer's disease, but they are working on it. Poor sleep is also associated with weight gain, increased stress levels, and lower bone density. Now, I kind of always lose men when I start talking about bone density, but this applies to you because while bone density is more commonly associated with women as we age, you catch up. Men do catch up with bone density issues. I believe by the time you're about 70. We talked about that on a previous show, so bone density should matter to you as well. We can't talk about sleep without talking about naps. Now tell me, does this sound familiar? I mean, who doesn't love a good nap? But really, you sit down mid-afternoon with a good book or curl up on the couch, and the next thing you know, it's 2 hours later and you really haven't made progress in that book. Or how about this? You sit down in the evening after your dinner, you watch the evening news, and the next thing you know, you're snoring, and it's time to wake up to go to bed right. Does that sound familiar? Some of you may find that you're having 4 or 5 hours of good sleep and you're frustrated, wondering why you don't get more. You need to add on all those hours you spent napping because you could easily rack up 7 or 8 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period, just not that 7 or 8 hour stretch at night that you want, expect, and actually need. So how do you make a good night's sleep happen? Well, you start with having a nice, cozy, inviting bed and bedroom. Make sure that your bedroom is dark. How dark does it need to be? Well, I heard it described like this. If you can hold your arm out straight in front of you and not see your hand, that's dark enough. I bet most of you don't have rooms that are that dark, but they do need to be that dark. You need to have a nice cozy bed with covers that keep you warm enough, but not too warm, pillows that support your head, but aren't too hard. I mean, it all needs to perfectly align, and it takes time to find that perfect mattress and that perfect pillow, but it's worth the search. So it also needs to be cool. Keep your bedroom on the cool side for sure. Keep the screens out of your bedroom. No TVs, no computers, no smartphones. Some of you may have done away with landlines and count on your smartphone to be that phone that you need in case of an emergency or for people to reach you. I get that. But when you come into your bedroom, set it down on the night table and forget about it. Put it face down. Do that. Don't develop this habit of scrolling Instagram before you go to bed. I do that. truthfully. That's a habit I'll cop to. That's exactly what I do. Okay. Through the day, make sure you hydrate well. Make sure you get sufficient exercise, but not within 3 hours of the time you go to sleep. Those naps, limit them to 20 minutes. Get in the habit of setting alarm. If you're one of those people who curls up in your favorite chair and you know that your habit is to nod off, set an alarm for 20 minutes because you don't want to go beyond that. 20-minute naps are great to take the edge off, but when you start going beyond that, you start cutting into the sleep that you really want to have in one stretch at night. Now, I want to talk about your partner. Is a sleep divorce something you need? It might be, but now stay with me here. If you have a partner who snores or tosses and turns, or maybe a partner who works on a different schedule than you do and they may get up earlier than you, or maybe you get up earlier than them, you may benefit from considering the idea of separate bedrooms. Date nights, for sure. Date nights, gotta have those. But separate bedrooms, because it's all about your sleep. And if you have a better sleep, we know that you have improvements on your relationships. Who wants a cranky partner? Right? You don't want a cranky partner. So, having separate rooms may be something that you find to be really beneficial. It's being talked about more openly now. I think people have been doing that for a long time. I remember my grandparents having separate bedrooms. As soon as the kids moved away from home, that was it. Grandma beetled herself into a separate bedroom because Grandpa snored. He just snored too much, and literally it shook the house. She benefited from having a better night's sleep in her own bedroom. Medications, they can also affect your sleep patterns, and it's important to stay on top of those. Make sure you talk with your doctor if you're having untoward side effects like sleep disturbances from any medications that you take. Remember, everything you put in your mouth affects you. And sometimes those medications can interact with your biology or with other medications or with foods that you're taking to produce a side effect like poor sleep that you really don't want. If you don't have a medication checklist, go to theoldish.com, create a membership if you don't already have one. It's free. It's free. Go to the top menu bar and there you will see a toolkit. Drop that down, and there's a medication checklist. You need the membership so that you have a password that is yours and yours alone. We cannot get into your medication checklist, but there will be a wonderful medication checklist that has been developed that you can add all your medications, the ones the doctors prescribe, the ones you take that are over-the-counter medications, as well as the things like teas and CBD that you may buy separately, but your doctor needs to know all of this. Take that list to your doctor at your next appointment or check it out with your pharmacist because they understand the interactions as well. It's all in the name of good sleep, so that's a good thing. For those who get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, that's okay. I mean, you might need to do that, but be sure to have a light strategy so that you're not following a bad path to a fall. You may think you know your way to the bathroom, but stuff happens. There are pets. There are slippers and shoes that get left. Doors that are normally open are shut. I mean, all kinds of stuff happens. What I've done in my bedroom, and you may find this helpful, see if it does, is I've installed Alexa plugs and plugged my lights into that, so that I just get to give a verbal command to Alexa. You see? I don't know if you can hear that or not, but Alexa heard me talking and she's talking back to me. But in the middle of the night, when I need to get up, all I need to do is say, Alexa, turn on the bedroom lights, and the lights come on. It lights my path to the bathroom, and when I get back into bed, I give the opposite command, Alexa, turn the bedroom lights off. And it turns them off. Easy peasy. Now then, the thing that I will have a problem with from time to time is not falling asleep, I fall asleep as soon as my head hits the pillow every single time. Staying asleep can sometimes be a problem. It is not unusual for me to wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and think, that's it. There's my night's sleep. And then I look at my watch and it's 2 a.m. Not so much the full night's sleep. My mind, if I allow it, starts worrying and starts working on that to-do list and solving problems or reliving things to see if I could do it better. I've really had to develop a bit of a meditation that helps focus my mind and get it off all that stuff that I don't want it working on. Now, that said, it's not uncommon for me to come up with really good ideas. Sometimes I think they're brilliant and I see them in the morning and I think, not so much. But good ideas in the middle of the night. And so I've developed a habit of telling my phone to make a note of it, just verbally. I have an iPhone 12. Most of the iPhones will do that for you. Sorry, I don't know much about the Androids, but I'm sure they will do similar things. I give my ideas to the phone, and once I know that they are safely written down somewhere, it gets me off of worrying about them. So I can go back to my meditation and start focusing on going back to sleep again. I don't know if any of you have that problem, but for me, that's how I've elected to solve it. Sleep can be elusive for some of us from time to time, and for many of us on a fairly regular basis. It is really worth finding the solutions to have a good night's sleep. Remember, sleep is not a luxury. No, it is not. It is a medical necessity. And I hope that you will be able to find solutions to the problems that prevent you from having a good night's sleep. You can go to theoldish.com and in the search bar type in sleep. There are all kinds of articles that come up. And of course, this will be archived for you as well. I hope you'll join us next Wednesday at 12 noon for another edition of the Oldish TV. Until then, please take care of one another, take care of yourself, and remember that it does indeed take a village to age a senior.